Hi friends, my name is Nishanta. I am a Dyslexics science teacher teaching here in Southern California. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the system that I've used to objectively increase my intelligence over these last couple of years. So becoming smarter will improve every single aspect of your life. You'll make better decisions about money and relationships. You'll become a more capable human. You'll be able to set bigger goals and achieve them. More doors of opportunities will open to you. Basically, you'll be able to live a much bigger life that impacts more people. Look, here's the thing. You can become way smarter than you are right now. I promise you that. I've done it myself. Over the last 10 years, I've dramatically improved my intelligence. It took me about 10 years to figure this stuff out. And in this video, I'm going to give you my entire blueprint so you can do this a lot faster than I've been able to do it. So I've structured this video into 3 parts. In part 1, I'm going to give you an introduction to a new model of intelligence. In part 2, I'm going to show you what your mental operating system is made of. And in part 3, I'm going to give you the 3 categories of applications that you can run on top of your mental operating system that'll objectively increase your intelligence. So this video is a part of the Dyslexia Masterclass I'm doing right here on YouTube. So if you like this video, check out the playlist. I'll link it in the cards above and the description below. Part 1, a new model of intelligence. Now, before I introduce you to this new model of intelligence, I want to kind of talk to you guys about the history of the old model or the standard model that we have for figuring out how smart someone is. Now, that standard model is called the Stanford-Binet intelligence quotient. Now, it was first invented during World War II, or it was first used during World War II, because we needed to figure out how to slot all these new recruits into our military structure. Because America, before World War II, or before we were getting ready to go into World War II, didn't have a lot of military capacity. There wasn't a lot of people in there. But then, well, when World War I was getting started, a lot of people were needed to fill all these positions. So in order to do that, we needed to figure out which people were the right people for the right spots. So in order to do that, they gave all the recruits as they were coming in a test, and that test had some questions, and based on the number of questions a person got right, they got a score, and that score was compared to all the other people that were taking the test at the same time, and depending on where a person's score was compared to other people, they would get to go into the command positions, or like the support positions, or they would get to go to the front lines soldier position. So basically, this test was used to determine the amount of brain power a person had, and depending on how much brain power a person had, then that person could be utilized to do different tasks. And these tasks had different levels that they thought needed different levels of brain power. So let's say that you were a pilot, and to fly a plane, they thought you needed 80 units of brain power, and anyone above 80 units can apply their brain power to flying the plane, and then they would be successful at it. Anyone below 80 units of brain power would try to apply their brain power to this task, but they would fail because this task required 80 units. So that was their thought, that was their idea. And we still kind of use a similar way to determine intelligence right now. And it's generally thought that you cannot increase this amount of brain power or IQ no matter what you do. You're kind of born with this level of brain power, and there's really nothing you can do to increase it. All right, so this new model of intelligence takes that idea and kind of flips it on its head. So in the old model, you had a certain amount of brain power, and you apply that brain power against a task. In the new model, what I'm proposing is you use a mental operating system and mental applications to take a task that was 100 units of brain power, and you lower the cost to like 50 or 20 or 10. And now, even if you have only 80 units of brain power, you can easily tackle this thing because now it doesn't cost as much. Now, let me explain what this means in a example, because I think it'll make a lot of sense once I do that. So let's say that we're trying to solve a complicated math problem, right? And this math problem requires like 100 units of brain power, but you only have 80 units of brain power. Normally, that would be like an impossible thing for you to do. And you cannot do that because you would need to be smarter to solve that. But there are ways to kind of take that 100 unit of brain power problem and turn it into a 50 unit brain power problem. Some ways you can do that is you can, instead of solving it inside your head, is you can use a piece of paper. And what that does, it expands your working memory. So now that problem that required 100 units of brain power might have just dropped down to like 90. And then you can apply like a tool like a calculator. And what a calculator will do is it'll give you access to a computer's ability to calculate. So now you can lower that even down to like 75 units of brain power. Maybe you can access formulas. You can access other mental models other people have used to solve this type of problem. Now, instead of having to come up with your own genius creative ways to solve this thing, you can rely on other people's formulas and solutions. So now instead of becoming a 100 unit problem, that thing turns into like a 50 unit problem. And then if you've done this over and over again, like if you've done a bunch of reps to solve this type of problem before, and you have access to mentors and things like that, now this problem becomes even easier and easier and easier. So by applying certain tools to your brain, you can keep your level of intelligence, but decrease the level of brain power needed to solve things around you. So what I'm going to show you in this video is I'm going to show you how to create a mental operating system, and then I'm going to show you how to install a suite of applications on top of your mental operating system. So every task that you come across will no longer require what normal people have to pay for in mental power. So you'll be able to tackle tasks, goals, objectives, opportunities that previously only a genius would have been able to tackle, because that was the mental requirement or the mental brain power requirement for those. Part 2, your mental operating system. So your mental operating system has 3 parts. I'm going to be making another video for each section of the mental operating system, because some of these topics are kind of deep and I want to dedicate a full video to each one of those. And I'll put them on the description below as I upload them to YouTube. So check on the descriptions. If I already uploaded them, they should already be linked on there for you. Also, if you're watching this through the Season 1 Masterclass playlist, they should pretty much be up there too. First component of your mental operating system is your mindset. And your mindset is basically what you believe is possible for yourself in this world. When you're building a strong mental operating system, you want to go from being a person with low or average agency to a person with high level of agency. Now, this word agency means your belief in your ability to change your circumstances in relation to your environment. If you're a person with low agency, you think your circumstances are kind of set in place and they're hard to move. If you're a person with high agency, you believe that your circumstances and your environment is not like rock solid. Like you can kind of mold it according to your will. Now, this might sound a little weird if this is your first time coming across this idea, but I promise you, your mindset is related to your confidence, self-esteem. It's also related to a healthy psychological state. And if you have like childhood issues, or if you have traumatic adult experiences that you really haven't dealt with, those things can be a block preventing you from becoming a high agency individual. Now, when we're building our mental operating system, we're trying to go from low agency to high agency, and in a future video I'll be showing you guys exactly how to kind of create a high agency mindset so you can have a strong operating system as a foundation. The second component of the mental operating system are the tools that we use. Now, these tools are gonna augment your mind's ability to do things effectively. Just like a carpenter has a set of tools that helps him build useful things out of wood, we need to have a set of tools that we can use to build and create useful things using our mind. So check out the playlist. The first couple videos are all about different tools that I use to use my mind more effectively. These are not the only tools that we're going to be using. I'm going to be introducing you guys to more tools as we progress in this series, but that's a pretty good place to start. The third component of our mental operating system is called methods and systems. Essentially, methods and systems are recipes, processes, workflows, formulas, and ways of doing things that help you predictably solve certain problems. So usually these methods and systems combine different tools to give you an outcome. They allow you to solve a certain problem predictably over a long period of time with good results. A good example of what I'm talking about here is this video right here. It shows you how to take thoughts and turn them into structured ideas. And the way I do that is we use a few tools, we combine them together, and we use a process to predictably create structured models and ideas. Check it out. It'll give you a good idea of what I'm talking about here. Part 3, the application layer. Okay, now that we have our MOS, or mental operating system, in place, we're now ready to install some new mental models, update our knowledge base, and increase our capabilities. Now, I'm going to briefly cover how to do that in this section, but again, these are little bit deeper topics, so I'm gonna make a video for each one of those, and once they're uploaded to YouTube, I'll include them in the description below. And if you're watching the playlist, once again, they should already be on there. Mental models. So what are mental models? So the simplest definition of a mental model is something that kind of helps explain how the world works or how something works. Supply and demand, for example, is a good mental model to help explain how economics work. Game theory is a good mental model to kind of explain how relationships and trust work. So mental models help you make better decisions because they provide a framework to help you make predictions about what's going to happen in the future. So the idea here is you want to have a library of really high quality mental models. So whenever you face a situation or you got to come up with a solution to a problem or you got to make a decision about something, you can pull out these mental models, choose the best one that applies to your situation, and make the best decision based on the models that you have. This is how really smart people make decisions. They don't just go into their head and think about it. They don't ask their neighbor, they don't ask their friend, they don't ask their mom or dad about it. They go into these mental models. They figure out how the best people have thought about this particular problem, and they base their decision off that thing. The second application layer that sits on top of our mental operating system is our knowledge base. So what's a knowledge base? A knowledge base is basically a web of knowledge that sits inside your head. You acquire knowledge by the experiences that you have or by learning from experiences other people have. The really cool thing about a knowledge base is that it compounds over time, just like money. The bigger your knowledge base is, the stronger the connections between your knowledge, the easier it is to assimilate more knowledge into your knowledge base. So the really cool idea here is that the more you learn, the easier it is for you to learn. So it's like this virtuous cycle that gets better and better over time. So our goal here is we want to get to the point where we can go into any library, pick out any book, and not feel intimidated by what's in there. We'll be able to open it up and assimilate the information on there because we have so many other nodes of knowledge that provide context for that learning. So the more you are able to do this, the more knowledge that's on there, the easier it is for you're going to be able to go into new categories of information, new industries, new situations, and quickly assimilate the knowledge that you need in order to be successful in that field or in that area. So the third application layer that sits on top of your mental operating system are skills. And skills are just your ability to do certain things. So like editing this video is a skill, baking a cake is a skill, building a chair is a skill, making a website, that's a skill. Skills are really easy to acquire once you know the system behind it. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to acquire skills in another video. Let me just give you guys the most powerful ideas that I found about skills right now in this video. So there's three powerful ideas. The first idea is you can take skills, you can stack them on top of each other to create a monopoly onto yourself. So you don't have to be the best at any skill, but if you can get pretty good at one skill, combine it with another skill, and then combine those two skills with another skill, now you're in this position where you're like the only person in the world that's really good at doing this very specific thing. You can kind of create like a monopoly position for yourself, and that's called a skill stack. I already did a video on that. I'll link it in the description below. Another cool idea, I'll do another video on this as well. There's a set of skills called the multiplying skills, and what these skills do is they multiply the effectiveness of all of your other skills. Let me just give you an example. So one of the multiplying skills is psychology, and another multiplying skill is communication. So if you're a teacher and you have the skill set of a teacher, and if you were to learn the skill set of communication, and if you were to learn the skill set of psychology, now your effectiveness as a teacher becomes a lot better. You multiply your effectiveness because now you have these two other multiplying skills that support this thing. There's another set of skills. These are the leveraging skills. They include coding and producing media like YouTube. Basically what this allows you to do is it allows you to produce something once that other people can use over and over again that gives them value. So you can put in a single unit of effort, and that unit will be able to be multiplied, thousands or millions of times because of how technology works. And I'll do another video on these skills as well. So skills are a pretty important aspect of our mental operating system, and I'm gonna do a bunch of videos on those, so look forward to checking those out. Guys, so I'm gonna quickly recap everything we kind of learned in this video. First, we learned that there's a new model of intelligence, and the way to really become an effective person in the modern times is to build yourself a mental operating system. So a mental operating system is composed of three parts. There's a mindset component, there's a tool component, and there is a methods and system component. And on top of your mental operating system, you can build these application layers. First is mental models. Mental models help us figure out how the world works, and they help us make decisions about the world. The second application layer is your knowledge base. We learn that by building our knowledge base in a smart way, we can actually increase how fast we build our knowledge base, and it compounds over time. And the third application layer is called skills. And there are some important skills that you should be learning that'll help you multiply your other skills. So the main takeaway that I want you to get from this video is it's possible for you to become smarter. We just gotta work on the components of our mental operating system and our applications, and incrementally we can get better and better. And when they combine together, you will be able to do things that you weren't able to do before. And the really cool thing is, you're never gonna be done. You can continue to get smarter and smarter throughout your life. And as you get older, you'll become more and more capable as a human. I'm gonna show you exactly how I've gone about improving all aspects of this mental operating system and my applications in future videos. Check the descriptions below. If they're uploaded to YouTube, I'll put them on there so it's easy for you guys to check out. Also check out the playlist. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye guys. Friends, the YouTube recommendation engine is an AI system. It's an algorithm that shows you videos that it thinks you like to watch. So if you like to learn how to leverage technology to become smarter, build your personal monopoly, and master your dyslexia, like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you do that, it'll teach the YouTube algorithm that you like videos like this one. And then YouTube will start showing you the rest of the series on your homepage. So if you don't want to miss out on this opportunity to master your dyslexic mind, like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Love you.